Once upon a time, in a big green forest, all the animals, birds, and bugs lived happily with each other. One day, Benny the bear and Walter the woodpecker had a big disagreement. Their arguments grew so big that it turned into a fight, and the fight turned into a decision to have a battle. Rest of the animals and birds also started getting involved. They started taking sides. All the animals sided with Benny, and all the birds and insects decided to side with Walter. Walter was very smart. He thought he should first find out the plans of the animals, only then they could make a strategy to win. So he sent Marvin the mosquito to find out what the animals were planning. Marvin flew quietly to the place where animals were having meeting and discussing their plans. Fiona the fox was the leader of the animals. She was explaining her plan to rest of the animals. She said she would use her bright fluffy red tail as a signal. If her tail was up, it meant everything was safe. But if she moved her tail, it meant danger, and the animals should stop and be ready to give up. Marvin hurriedly came back and told the birds and bugs about Fiona's plans. The birds and bugs around and came up with a clever plan to trick the animals. When the sun rose the next day, the forest was filled with noise. The animals roared and stomped, ready for battle. The air buzzed with flapping of wings and the sound of bugs. Fiona raised her tail high, leading the animals with full confidence. But Walter was ready with his plans. He signaled to the wasp, who zoomed down and started to sting Fiona's tail. Fiona did her best to keep the tail still and up. She knew how important her signal was, but the wasp kept on stinging and stinging, and Fiona was in a lot of pain. Finally, she couldn't help but shake her tail to get the wasp away. Seeing Fiona move her tail, all the animals thought it was the danger signal. They were scared and they turned around and ran back. Fiona realized that she was now left alone. Fiona looked around and saw the birds and bugs closing in. She got scared and turned and ran back to find safety. The small birds and tiny bugs won the battle thanks to their cleverness and teamwork. So you see that even the smallest creature like a wasp could make a big difference. After that day, the peace returned to the forest. All the animals and birds decided to solve their problems by talking and not fighting with each other.